One of boxing's purest boxers in the sport today is performing this Saturday. Chris Colbert is looking to deliver the holiday goods as he is featured in a card on Showtime. What's good, YouTube? This is STORMYBMAN, and I'm back with another pre-fight video breakdown. Before we get started, I'd like to say shout out to the LDBC, Lions Den Boxing Community, and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Coming up this Saturday, on Showtime, December 12th, we have a battle, super featherweights, for the interim WBA super featherweight title. Chris Colbert against Jaime Arboleda. This is the type of fight that is going to let us know exactly what's going on with Chris Colbert. I fancy this kid. Colbert is a fighter of the Pernell Whitaker's ilk. He has fast hands, fast feet. He's defensively responsible. He has an edge, and he's all around capable with a record of 14-0 and 5 KOs. The 5 KOs is deceptive because as of right now, he's not settling down on his punches. He's actually looking to sting and get out of the way, or sting several times and get out of the way. At the age of 24, Colbert stands 5'8", and he has a 71-inch reach, and he does damage. His opponent, Jaime Arboleda, is a fighter who is 5'9.5" with a 72-inch reach. His record is 16-1 with 13 KOs. He's coming off of some victories like a split decision win over Jason Velez in his last fight, February of this year, 2020. And prior to that, in August of 2019, he had a TKO stoppage over Victor Bantecourt. Now, the thing about Jaime, he reminds me of a smaller featherweight version of Felix Trinidad. He throws hooking and looping shots. He's very much heavy on his front foot, a lot like Felix Trinidad, and fights out of that similar posture. He's a fighter that looks to engage, but he doesn't move his head a lot. He throws power punches with both hands. He's hurt opponents to the body, and he can sometimes be accurate with his shots to the head. Colbert, on the other hand, is more of a fleet of foot fighter looking to dart in and give angles and punch from angles. He's the type of fighter that can light it up, and he also is the type of fighter that can make another fighter look foolish in there. Colbert is an orthodox fighter, but he can box out of the southpaw stance. And at the age of 24, he is starting to come into his man strength, so soon I expect the knockouts to start coming. He is an engaging fighter. He has personality. Sometimes he's of the Dennis Rodman ilk, where he will dye his hair various colors to match his wardrobe. He's a little flashy with his wardrobe. He originally had a nickname of B-Hop and has changed it to Prime Time because of his affinity for Deion Sanders, the football player. Colbert sometimes can be an antagonist with his opponents. He taunts them, he showboats, he clowns around a bit, but the young man can fight. There are not going to be many matches that he'll have in his career where he's physically bigger, stronger than his opponent. He may be one of those guys that's always the little guy, but he's got a great deal of fight in him, and I like that. If he could just tone back a little bit of the showboat, machismo, and focus more on his craft, this young man could possibly kick the doors of stardom wide open. As he's going into this fight this Saturday, he is going to be the featured attraction in this Showtime card, and I hope that he is able to handle it and deal with it in a mature manner, because if he is and he's successful, the sky will be the limit and he'll be brought back for more future shows. Arboleda is a fighter that is looking to do some damage in this fight, but I'm concerned with his lack of head movement and being straight and steady on the line. You know, he's from Panama, and of course English is not his first language, but he fights like a Cuban fighter, but he reminds me of Felix Trinidad. Arboleda also is a gutsy fighter. He will come forward. He will attempt to try to land power punches. He'll try to scope his man out. But with the angles and the foot speed that Colbert has, I don't think this is going to be an easy job for Arboleda. Colbert, as I said, has a lot of the Sweet Pea Whitaker in him as far as his movement, fleet of foot, able to dazzle you with punching and hand speed off of angles. He gets in and out. He likes to get in a fighter's face, make them miss, make them pay. He lands punches in great combinations. He puts them together very well, and he just really looks to strip a guy of any type of dignity when he's in there. I find it humorous because there's not a lot of fighters with his type of talent that have that type of mentality where they just kind of want to strip the other guy. It'll be interesting to see what's on the horizon for him, because the featherweights seem to be gaining a little bit of thunder. And with a fighter like Colbert out there leading the way, he could bring the division a little bit of sparkle and glitter that it hasn't seen possibly since Prince Nassim Hamed. But at first, he'll have to get past Arboleda. In their past fights, Arboleda has shown us what he's been able to do. But Colbert, who is really a fighter who is just coming off of 8-rounders, he is the one to really step it up in this one. If he starts securing knockouts, KO victories, it will be a plus for him. He doesn't have to knock everyone out, but he has to win in such a decisive manner, reminiscent of Sweet Pea Whitaker, as I said, that he hardly loses a round and he basically puts the opponent to shame. His victory over Jezreel Corrales made Corrales look foolish in there. Even as Corrales was the older fighter, he handled him readily. This was in January of this year. Against Miguel Beltran Jr., he had a scintillating KO victory over him. Prior to that, in June of 2019, Alberto Mercado was a victim of his by unanimous decision. Colbert is putting it together. He can switch up to southpaw very effectively to give an opponent a different look. So being able to fight orthodox as well as southpaw could be very engaging for him as he faces stiffer competition coming up on the horizon. Some people can be very befuddled by a southpaw position, and since he can fight equally out of either stance, he can present the problem because of his hand speed and the sharpness of his punches. As I said, the punching power will come when he decides to set down on his shots. Right now, he seems to, like I said, like to sting and get out of there and make sure that his opponents can't take what he has to offer. Jaime is going to have to sell out in this fight. He's going to have to take it to Colbert. He's going to have to close the distance on Colbert, because if he tries to box from mid-range or on the outside, I think Colbert's hand speed will be a little bit too much for him, and as well as foot speed. He's going to have to counter the counters. He's going to have to get in close and close that distance. He's going to have to rough Colbert up with body shots, not with elbows and headbutts and things of that nature, but looking to score shots that are meaningful, that may make Colbert stand and fight him. He's not going to be able to outwit this fighter. He's not going to be able to outsmart him. Colbert has a high ring IQ. The only setback that Colbert has is, like I stated a moment ago, is sometimes his propensity to be a showboat or trying to be entertaining could be a distraction, not for the audience, but for himself. So he's going to have to focus up as he begins to step up in this opposition, because one slight and he's going to assist someone in making a name for themselves. But again, this coming Saturday is going to be very interesting. I expect him to come out on top, though that Jaime is a little bit larger than he is. I still see Colbert coming out as the victor in this fight. What are your thoughts about it? What do you think about Chris Colbert? And can you see the little bit of a reminiscence of Sweet Pea Whitaker that I talk about? Same with that ego, same with the mindset toward his opponents. It could be very useful. We need a little flavor right now in the sport of boxing, and he might be the guy who can deliver that flavor. This is STORMYBMAN. This is all I have for you at this time. Leave comments. Let's discuss. The weigh-in is later this week on Friday, and we can talk about this fight again. That's it for now. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace and enjoy the fight.